We've all heard the gurus shouting from the rooftops, you need an email list. I'm going to share how I use email marketing to grow my business, grow my client list, and how I make it feel way more personal and way more creative. We all know that social media is super noisy and the algorithm is inconsistent. We can't control it, but we do have a little bit more control over our list. Email gives you direct access to the people who literally want to be there for you. They want to hear from you. So it's a really great tool and it's time to harness it for your business. Showing up in someone's email can be the thing that reminds them that you exist and leads them to making a purchase, booking a call, hiring you for their next project. And it's not annoying. They literally said, yes, send it to me. Here are a few ways I like to use email marketing. First, it's a really great way to stay top of mind with your clients. If you're showing up in their inbox, they remember that you're available and you're around and ready to be hired for work. Email marketing can also build a lot of trust. So if someone's been on your email list for a while, then when they do go to hire you, they already feel like they know you and they know a little bit about you because they've already read a bunch of your content. Email is a great way to share new work or share new launches or like exclusive offers like sales or promos that you've got going on. And of course, it's a great way to share your story and a look behind the scenes. It's like an exclusive club that not everybody is in on. So people are into it. I know I am. Email is our biggest converter. We could do a post to way more followers than we have on our email list, but our email list is going to convert way higher because it's people who genuinely are waiting for an email from you. So you can create different styles of newsletters, especially if you have different types of customers. So over at Goodtype, we have people who are there for specific events, or they're there for courses, or maybe they are art directors that want to work with us in the future. So we don't want to send all of those people the same email. And so you can create something called segments. Now, these segments are a great way to specify who you're reaching and who wants to be contacted about what. So maybe your segments are like this. You have some people on your list who follow you for your product shop, but then you have some people on your list who only want to talk to you about freelance work. You can actually have them set their preferences so you know which emails to send them. And that way you don't have to build two different totally separate businesses with totally separate accounts. You could actually integrate them together and figure out who you're sending what email to. Another thing you can utilize is forms and opt-ins. Coupon codes are a great way to incentivize people to join your list. And it makes a lot of sense if you are selling literally anything, whether that's courses or physical products. Free downloads is another one. Any sort of freebie, whether it's a template that someone can download, an ebook, a workbook, a checklist, a roundup of your favorite tools. Another great one that I've seen is a quiz. So you could ask people like, what type of designer are you? Or something like that. Another great option is hosting a creative challenge or some sort of prompt. And those are really fun to participate in too. And so if you do them like quarterly or something, that could be a great way to build your list as well. Each one of these is best for a different type of person. And so it's going to come down to you sitting down and figuring out, who do I want on my list? And again, you can segment your list so that you don't have everyone getting all the same email. You might have 2 different groups or maybe 3 or 4. But from there, what? You don't want to just like ghost them. And so making sure that you follow up with additional things later on, like that newsletter with new drops, make sure you tell people what they can expect from being on your list. Of course, you want to make sure you schedule a simple welcome email. So after you've done the quiz or any of your opt-ins, make sure that you follow up by saying maybe a day or 2 later, hey, thanks so much for taking my quiz or downloading my freebie. Here's what you can expect from this newsletter. Now, if you're a freelancer and you want to use a newsletter, but you don't really know what to put in it, here are some ideas. You could create something like a monthly note from you that includes maybe a lesson learned or a big takeaway. And maybe it features like some open tabs that you're working with right now, things that have inspired you and that you've liked reading or you've been keeping your eye on. Maybe it's a new product that you've been purchasing for your creative process, something that other creatives who you're going to be working with might be interested in as well. Then at the bottom, you could share like recent work, and you could share a sneak peek of something you're working on. And that simple newsletter can just be a nice way to keep yourself top of mind for those dream clients or past clients so that you're just staying on their radar and then reminding them of your work, your awesome work, and that you exist and you're available. These newsletters are not a pitch. It's not just you saying, hey, I'm available for work. It should be a point of connection. You want to make sure you're not just pitching yourself, but giving them some value. And that might just be like a personal lesson you've learned with your work this month. Maybe it can be about a hobby that you've taken up. Maybe it's a book you recently read. I am certain that someone that you're connecting with will have read that same book or be interested in it as well. Your email marketing does not need to be revolutionary. It can be a simple roundup of things you're loving lately, a look inside your process, or even just what you are currently working on or projects you just wrapped up the following month. Of course, that would look really different if you're segmenting and sending for your product-based shop, if you have both of those income streams. And on that, it might look like products that are in the works. It might look like a product that's on sale or a product that's been a bestseller. If you are doing your product-based business, you're going to want to include a little bit of a pitch because that's the whole point. People want to be reminded of what you have coming out, and they're probably not just on your website every day refreshing it to see what you've done. If you're only working direct with clients, I still think you can tap into this. You can definitely create a list of art directors, a small but mighty list. Once a month, just send them those portfolio updates, share what you've been working on, and then share a little tip or insight into your life, maybe even a work in progress or a little bit about the process behind those pieces. Start simple, maybe with one opt-in form on your website and one welcome email. And that's really all you need to begin building real relationships through your email marketing. Since you're probably a creative watching this, you know how important the design of an email is. Maybe you prefer something that doesn't have too much clutter going on. Whatever it may be, the design really matters, especially if your work is visual. We want to see those visuals. And that's where Flodesk can come in. Flodesk is a beautiful platform designed by creatives for creatives. And it means that their templates actually look good and you don't have to fight the layout to make it feel on brand. It's such an easy, customizable platform. So if you're looking for some place to start hosting your email marketing, Flodesk, you're going to want to check out. When it comes down to working one-on-one with clients, one of our favorite ways to book clients is through outreach emails. Talking to customers and clients is something we missed, especially when we had agents. So we've been running this experiment trying to figure out what the right amount of outreach is for us. And so we made a list for ourselves to first go through our dream client spreadsheet and organize it and sift through and take out any clients who are no longer on our dream client list, or maybe the business was closed, which we had to dust this file off. And so many of the businesses that we had worked with or had written down so many years ago, we needed some cleanup. The next thing we did for ourselves was work backwards and set up a realistic timeline for reaching out to people and trying to figure out what pace was right for us. We came up with doing 10 outreach emails a week. It's a lot. It's not sustainable long-term for us based on the other projects we're working on. So we'll probably scale that back down to maybe 10 a month. But for now, we're going to try and do 10 a week and we'll report back and see how it goes. If you've been putting off email marketing because it feels too overwhelming or off brand, maybe this will give you the nudge to get started. There's no one size fits all for email marketing. You have to make it work for your business. And I know if you're a creative juggling multiple income streams, that can feel kind of confusing. So you might want to start with one income stream and make your email list for that. And then in the future, you could start to build up a second one. Flodesk is the perfect tool for designers and creatives because it was built with creatives in mind by creatives. Not only are the templates beautiful, but it is so easy to use. It is so simple and it makes it way less intimidating. Honestly, it's actually kind of fun. Give Flodesk a try for free using the code Goodtype. If you have any questions or are looking for opt-in ideas for your creative business, drop them in the comments below.